Mother of God.
Hey guys, Kingopersia back with a new type of series of videos. So in my last video I said that I was running out of ideas for videos other than reviews and Let's Plays. Well, I thought of another one. I'm a big MMORPG player. I love those games. It's my favorite type of genre. And so I thought, why not do a series of videos based on MMORPGs. So I was thinking maybe go into detail about them, the history and introduction, and go into more detail about them. So this first video is very brief history, because they have a long history, very brief history of MMORPGs based on the kind that are played today. So the term MMORPG, massively multiplayer online role-playing game. That term was coined by the guy that created Ultima Online. That's seen as the first graphical MMORPG, I think it was. That was released in 1997. After that, EverQuest came out. EverQuest in 1999. EverQuest really started the standard for the general the general interface of it. You know, a third-person avatar running around the world doing quests. That's really the game that started what MMORPGs are today, the generation they are today. Then in 2004, World of Warcraft came out. That blew everybody away. That's seen as one of the best MMORPG out there. It's got, I think, 9 or 10 million players as of this video being made. That started in 2004, still going strong. And the one I'm playing right now is Star Wars: The Old Republic, which came out December 26, 2011, I think it was. That one in particular has had the biggest budget for MMORPGs, and it's also the first fully voiced MMO, and it's fully voiced in most parts anyway. Okay, so that's a brief history, very brief history. So, an introduction to MMOs. MMORPG, massively multiplayer online role-playing game. MMO, massively multiplayer online. You play with a lot of people, servers. Usually you can hold up to a couple hundred people on one server. Depending upon how many servers you have, you can play on any of those servers and play with different people for each server. Now, MMORPGs are set in fantasy-based worlds. World of Warcraft is set in the Warcraft universe, Star Wars: The Old Republic, the Star Wars universe. EverQuest, which I think is in a place called Canark, I think it was. I might be wrong on that. But fantasy-based settings. What else? When you want to buy an MMORPG, you usually have to pay for the game. Most MMORPGs, due to their complex interface, are for PC only. There's a couple, like Final Fantasy 11, I think it was, for PS2, and then Final Fantasy either 12, 13, or 14 for PS2 or PS3. And yeah, most of them are for PC. You have to buy the game itself and then pay a monthly fee, which is usually $15 for most MMORPGs. Now, some are free to play. You can buy the game. Sometimes you can just get the game for free, and you don't have to pay a monthly subscription. These games still generate profits somehow. I don't know entirely, but one way is a microtransaction-based market. I'll go into more detail about what that is later on in my next video, or in my future videos. When you start an MMORPG, you make an avatar. You choose a name, you choose how they look, you've got your avatar. You play that character for the rest of the time that you play that MMORPG, unless you make a new character. You can have multiple characters on one account. What else? You make a class with that character as well. Each class fills some type of role in battle. You've got 3 different roles, well 6, mainly 3 different roles in an MMORPG. You've got a healer, tank, and DPS, damage per second. I'll go into more detail about what they do later on. But tanking keeps the attention of the enemy on them, and tanks are made to take more hits. They have better armor, better defense, all that stuff. So the enemy focuses on them. And then there's healers, which are self-explanatory. They heal all the people they play with. Then there's DPS, damage per second, which damage the enemy. They do most of the damage in a battle, most of the time. depending upon how the classes are made. Then to progress through MMORPGs, you level up with experience by doing quests. Some games have other ways of getting experience. The best way is to do quests. You talk to NPCs, non-player characters in the game that aren't controlled by a player. They're just characters in the game. Talk to them. You do some type of thing they tell you to do called an objective. You do it, come back to them, talk to them, and you get experience. You also usually get money, which comes in different forms, like in World of Warcraft comes in gold. In Star Wars The Old Republic, you get credits. And you also get gear. Gear is something you can wear, like armor, and it improves the statistics or stats of your character, so they become stronger. You can level up, like I said, it goes up to a certain level, like World of Warcraft, as of the Mists of Pandaria expansion, you can go up to level 90, I think. In Star Wars, it's 50 right now. They're going to be releasing a new patch, it's going to expand it to 55. And when you play the game, when you finally make your character, you go out into the world and run around, do anything. Mostly you'll start off questing first. With quests, you kill things, you gather things, that's it. That's most quests. When you get to the end of the level, as you progress through the levels, you go to different areas that are based on higher levels. So if you're, let's say you're level 20, you can go to a level 20 area and continue questing. Now, you fight enemies. Based on which game it is, you might be fighting dragons, tigers, animals, people, anything. What else? You can, to interact with enemies, you kill them, obviously. You use abilities that you get as you level up. You get different abilities based on which class you are. So, you have certain attacks that you can do to enemies that cost, let's say, mana. If you're a mage type character, you have mana. How much mana you have dictates which abilities you can do and how much. Then there's when you reach the level cap, the last level in the game, you can do either two things in most games: PvP or PvE. Player versus player, or player versus, I think, environment, or everyone. I think it's environment. PvP is fighting other players. PvE is fighting computer-controlled characters. Mostly me, I do PvE. I don't do PvP. It's just really boring to me. No disrespect. That's me. What else? You can have mounts in the game, which help you travel around faster. The worlds are huge, mostly. Depending upon which game you play, they're pretty big. World of Warcraft has, I think, 4 different maps, 4 different continents you can be on. Star Wars has different planets you can be on. They're generally smaller than the places in World of Warcraft, though. And you interact with other people. You can talk to them mostly through text-based chat. You can download third-party programs to communicate with them through voice, like Ventrilo or TeamSpeak, Raid Call, something like that. What else? You can name your character. You see other people running around you. You can talk to them. You can join groups with other people to help progress through harder areas, harder quests, type of thing. And the last thing I can think of, graphics. Graphics for MMORPGs are usually lower. MMORPGs have lower standards for graphics than most of your leading games these days. I think mainly it's because so they can cater to all types of computer setups, therefore catering to all types of players. Some people don't have the fastest computer in the world, so they won't be able to run MMORPGs that have really high graphics, so they have to lower the settings on these games that developers are making to cater to more computer setups. So that's about it. That's a very general overview of MMORPGs. I will be releasing more videos and I go over them. I'm really excited. You know, MMORPGs are my favorite type of game next to first-person shooters. I just really love them a lot. So that's it. Look for me maybe Wednesday Maybe Wednesday. Yeah, I mean, I could go on all day about MMORPG, so I think I'm pretty good for the next couple of weeks with videos. So yeah, take a look at last week's video on, I think it was Wednesday. That was my thoughts on downloadable content. So that's a pretty good video. I like it. And that's it. So I'll look forward to me either this Wednesday or next Monday. Thanks for watching.